Astralis to challenge with, though. Glaive and Dupree with 2 AK-47s. Glaive going to lead the way. Oh, that flashbang could absolutely destroy Nitro. This could be so brutal if it's tossed out, but for the moment it's silent. Stewie off angle with the Krieg. SMG close up.
Neither playing counter flash. Both so susceptible to it. Oh, but they don't go. It's a dry peek from Glaive. Punished by the Krieg as what's left of Astralis runs back the other way, and that's an open B site. They just need to sprint for this.
There's just that's a huge mistake from NAF. This is going to be really tough now. This round was in the hands of Liquid, no problem. And now all of a sudden they have to fight for it, and they could lose so much. Device is going to miss an opportunity on top of the box. This good kill from Nitro. That's huge. Establish control of construction in ruins.
That's going to draw Zipex closer towards it. Big frag happening in construction there. Zipex going to get a flash. There could be 2 CTs fully blind. They are, but still they spray. Stewie saves the day. NAF's mistake may be negligible at this point unless Device comes up with a massive 1v4. The damage is so substantial. But alas, he fumbles in the end. That is Liquid with a 7th, cutting the lead to just 4. The CT side starting to get rolling. Thank God they recuperate after losing Pistol.
Yeah, that's also a crazy, crazy round to almost lose for Liquid. NAF is the sole defender at that B-bomb site, going for the flank and not even expecting them to fall back and readjust. And listen, that can always be miscommunication. It's hard to judge because that could always be the call that they're committed towards the A-bomb site and NAF just gets blindsided. 4 rounds away for Liquid to tie things up at 11. They've finally gotten Astralis back to pistols, though, and it's been so long. Astralis hasn't had to worry about money pretty much this entire game until now.
Nothing grenades, empty on the explosion. T is wasting no time taking map control here, already starting to parade their way through apps. Oh, and Alige just completely dumpstered there towards the lane of A. That's going to draw a rotate from Stu. Doubling up on Arch side here, susceptible to the ramp. NAF, don't make the same mistake. That's information gain. Bomb dropped by ramp.
Deep smoke as well. Not as deep as you'd like, actually. That could allow a bit of space for Astralis to start heading in towards Banana. Mega's still going to keep the bomb at the base of Banana for the moment. But at least things have been evened up. And NAF calling away for the rotation. Stewie's in CT spawn. He was starting to kind of posture as if he was going to run over, and they called it off. Dupree and Zip, what kind of a fake? Do they want to at least attack Rap side and keep Stewie occupied? Give Glaive and Megas a 2-on-1 at the B-bomb site. No utility as well for Astralis on the attack, so it's just got to be another stunning shot to open this up.
They crack the whip towards A to start this. Dupree's still in the mix. There it is, though. Across, made impossible without a smoke. Fast rotation from Stewie, dropping the bomb. Nafly finding cover. Zipex not finding any damage back the other way. This one leans towards Liquid yet again.
You could see the idea, though. Astralis almost was able to pull that off. Dupree was guarding the Rap side on the rotation. He was able to pick Nitro.
Sure.
So if they just get that 1 kill on NAF, and they can fight Stewie, maybe they have something. So picks up the AK-47, is fine to just survive the round. He's got the money for armor and nades after this. Might be able to get Twist, who's come back to investigate in towards Library. Gonna take the gun away at the last moment. No bonus money. It's gone all wrong.
That one's got to sting a bit. But still, I feel like this happened on Nuke as well. Dupree starts to sneak his way to the top of the scoreboard. 24-10 now.
Remember, Dupree, his success in these 2 maps, though, it's not that he's been inefficient or not good on the T side, but his impact has mostly been on that defensive side. He's been an absolute monster on the CT sides.
Good point.
Offense a little bit quieter.
So let's see who picks up the pace then. Who takes his place? Run boost, cross mid, spots nothing. Early presence up Banana. Device gonna go ahead and play through the Molotov, at least the first one. He thought he'd find more footing. But the utility damage is good. Loses more than half his health. At a second frag, misses the mark this time.
Yeah, but NAF and Stewie have a Molotov and a smoke each. They use the majority of Alige's nades to keep Astralis at bay for the first 15 seconds or so. So plenty of counter utility if there is any kind of executor set piece towards the B-bomb site. Liquid, the defense is set up quite nicely, especially Dupree's been brought down to 11 health, trying to probe in towards Halls. So all 5 players from Astralis are going to head here. Good opening fight for Stewie, and now you'll start to see the Molotovs just be brutal for this defense.
Ooh, smoke. They'd have to run through blind. Nafly needs to retreat, and the last few bullets on the spray is where he picks up that kill, because you know Glaive's about to give chase. If he catches you on the reload hiding in through construction, then suddenly you've got poor Stewie alone in the bomb site about to be pinched.
Yeah, that was about to be a really scrappy round. If Glaive was able to turn that corner with Naf on a reload. A little bit of damage comes right back through onto Elige through the smoke, with 3 defenders here. This bomb site is closed for Astralis. They have utility. They've got 2 smokes, a Molotov, and a flashbang, but there's way too many bodies. There's going to be way too many bullets coming through these smokes, and that Molotov delaying even longer.
Yep, another molly and smoke ready to go. Just burn that clock down. Stewie decides to dodge the molly that would have taken him out of new box. He'll play on oranges instead. It's still Naf set. This crossfire going to be enough, you'd think. Device creates a bit more space. Naf at bat, huge health advantage. Bomb planter denied, and that is the clean sweep once Stewie goes down. 2 points of a lead is all that they have now. Astralis have given up 4 rounds in a row. Again, because of that second round win, because of the successful force buy from Team Liquid.
There's always a second life in Astralis, though, and that's what's got to be scary, is they had such a big lead, a 10 to 5 lead at the half, where they can just say, we have some space to work with. Let's start seeing how they're going to play this defense, how they're rotating. And Astralis has always had that knack of figuring things out. The deeper this second half goes, they'll have some ideas. So Liquid have at least survived the first salvo. Closing the gap, obviously, a good chance to make it 10 to 11, but the final portion of this second half is going to be very strong for Astralis, you have to believe.
A bit of a ripper. And a blindside. So all right, versus Pistols, Team Liquid not going to feign in their confidence at all. Happy to force the fights and flex the advantage that they have in these rifles. So 5v3.
Woof.
Make it 4.
Their deagles are on point in this game. That is a nice shot, but Stewie needs to clean that up, and he almost gave it away. He gets dinked even. Device recovers that M4, so Stewie a bit sketchy, but it's all good. Zippa left alone in a 1 versus 4. Elige is not hurt at the A bomb site. Twist is not hurt at the A bomb site, and they've got a crossfire in brackets. As soon as this smoke clears, Zip has no chance of making any passage into the A bomb site.
Done. And Liquid find themselves on fire. You've got to think to yourself, if you're Liquid, man, you're thanking the fact that Nafly's finding form. 21 kills for him. Next closest being 12. So for now, he's doing enough. And that's something that we have to talk about in terms of Liquid just as of late. Nafly taking that place as the top fragger yet again.
There's just so many good players on this Team Liquid side. I mean, outside of Elige and Twist, it's got to be hard for the other 3 players to be consistently like one of the best. But Naf has always been an X factor for this team. He's been an X factor for every team that he's played on. He is one of those guys that if he shows up, it's just like you don't necessarily always expect it, but he can carry your team through a map. He's starting to do that here, as you mentioned. 21 and 14. He's the saving grace at the moment. Outside of the one blunder of pushing down Banana, he's played a very, very good defensive half so far.
A defensive half that now finds itself in a double op setup, Jason.
Ooh. All right. Let's see how this goes. Stewie's going to take 1 towards the B bomb site. Nitro has the other at A. It looks like he almost wants to peek down mid. Deep Molotov. And this time, there's not a barrage of nades down B. We'll see what Astralis does with that information.
Magisk somewhat flustered. Caught between the 2 mollies. Loses 40 of his health.
Astralis has gained a lot of control in A-halls. Dupree's already at Boiler.
And we've seen him rip some entries from this position. He decides to jump out. Luckily for Elige, not caught with a grenade. He had fallen back enough, and he's going to fall back some more.
Man, it's only Stewie at the B bomb site with an op. And he was at the CT spawn side. He was in that choke point, so I like this repositioning from him. He had to do it, but they need more players over. The tough part is the next closest rotation, the next closest support is Nitro, and he's got an op as well. Liquid is about to be locked out of this bomb site just due to the fact they don't have the weaponry to keep hold of it. Op misses its first shot. And they're getting closer. 1 for Stewie as he backs behind the smoke.
Yeah, he at least gets that bit of an advantage here. He'll spam some more shots. It's everybody else on the rotation through spawn, but Device gets him from the top rope. We question the Oppers and whether they'd be locked out, but at least each Op gets 1 frag, maintains the man advantage, and damage done further to Device. Smoke nullifies Zipex. The entirety of the retake comes through this CT spawn. Does Device decide to go through this? With 13 health, he's really caught in this position, has to commit to the corner, and the pressure then falls on Glaive and Zip. A molly that misses its mark. will not fluster him, will not force him to show his hand. Bomb so far gone at this point. 3/4 of the way ticked on, and Liquid still, they'll try to force this retake, but it's the crossfire, and the time burnt off. He needs to stick the defuse, and the question is, does he have it? 5, oh, yes! So damn close.
That's about as close as you get. What a retake. They were stalled out by that smoke. That was perfect, and they had to stick it and let the second player cover against Zip. A brilliant win for Liquid to tie things up 11-11. They themselves now on a 6-round run.
That's incredible. 6 rounds. I mean, we talked about that big spree from Astralis on their CT side, but their spree of rounds started later than that of Liquid.
This is great from Liquid. This kind of a comeback after losing the pistol. They've got money now. 7,000 on Nitro, 6,000 on Elige. Even switching into the double op setup, they don't get punished whatsoever. So now you start to see a little bit of confidence, a little bit of smiles on the face of Liquid, and it was grim for a long while there, and they have sustained. The mentality is strong.
Oh,
look how lucky that is from Nitro. You want to talk about margins through the smoke? He'll take it.
That defuse, man. I mean, you saw Glaive just playing the pillar for the fact of time. He thought the time would be enough, and it was that close.
That positioning, that negated the Molotov that you mentioned, yeah. Deep nade, damage onto Glaive in Vegas, return onto Naf. 3 players to defend at top banana for Team Liquid. They want this control, and they're not going to have it. But Stewie does burn device from the grave.
A trade they'll happily take. Naf has to now play support, seeing as he's also dropped to 39.
They've only got one piece of utility at this B bomb site. It's that flashbang on Naf. How do you play this round? Glaive is already starting to make his way in through arches. He's going to look the wrong way at the wrong time. But Elige has stopped cold.
I don't think Elige knows he's crossed. There's a world where Elige is confident that he's found the timing to cover this.
Well, Glaive has now put himself in a position where he can pretty much assassinate either the B bomb site or the A bomb site. Wherever Astralis wants to go, Glaive is in such an advantageous position. This is going to be so tough to clear out. This is going to be a very difficult round for Liquid to win because Glaive can just decimate anyone. And he's not even actually going to go for the aggression, open up the site. Oh, he's going to be able to cut off rotations. He misses the spray, misses his chance. Back to the A bomb site we go, but this defense is pinned down.
Right, they're not ready. They are so pinned into this. Glaive on one side and the majority of the team, everybody else about to hit them up from lane. A Molotov that could hit the mark. Will this be enough to convince them back? Can they hold? It's crucial that Glaive goes down first, but Nitro's so pinned in. Elige into the mix. Able to hold the cross. Further damage as Liquid keep themselves on fire. Liquid take back their lead.
I have no idea how Liquid won that round. Glaive misses that kill, and that was a big one to not have. And you could see the smile. I think Elige knows they should have never been able to recover. And that interview Glaive gave before this event began, he was very critical of himself, blaming himself for the loss against Mousesports at ECS. This is another missed opportunity that Glaive could have had a 1 round, could have stopped this streak, and Liquid are building into Inferno.
What a message it would send if they actually managed to surmount an even bigger spree of round wins than their opponent. Astralis looked untouchable in that first half.
This is the first lead Liquid has had since round 10 in this game.
Incredible.
It regained it finally. Nitro waiting with the ult, hoping someone's going to come. Ooh. That is a great flick. I think he just blew off his wrists.
Yeah. Poor Glaive spam then further. Okay, Liquid. How incredible, you think 9 rounds in a row on the CT side, 10 if you include second pistol. Again, this game wouldn't have been tied up at 11. Remember, this starts with a round 2 forced by defuse.
Stewie and Naf to defend against the final play that Astralis have in their pocket in this round. They've got 1 smoke for the spawn choke point, 1 flashbang as well. Naf is low HP though, and Stewie out in the open. This flashbang could catch him. This defense is deceptively weak. But Stewie with the first kill can tuck himself back into a corner while they look for him. Naf can be effective. Good second kill for Stewie. And this has all disappeared, all the danger. Good shot from Dupree, a second follow-up. Very slim chance to win the round, but a plant is going to be a thing of beauty.
Yeah, go ahead and get it in. Safely tucks back behind oranges. However, Elige already ready to come out from coffins. It would take a miracle from this Deagle, especially considering he only has 3 bullets in the mag. Oh, but he only needs 3 bullets. Jason! Oh my God, what an incredible round that could have been. Fully puckered Team Liquid in that 1v1.
Dupree had a grin on his face before the attack began. I think he was telling his teammates, he was calling the victory. He was straight up saying, I'm going to win this, and he almost just did it. What beautiful shots with the Deagle. So that's a win for Liquid, an expensive one. And the nightmare now for Liquid is, yes, you've had so much success. You're on an 8-0 run of your own, but you don't have a lot of money in the bank. NAF is bought down to 0. Stewie beneath 1,000. They cannot afford to get reset this late in the half, in the map.
You know, we praised the fact that Astralis gave up, or that Liquid were only getting like 12 kills in the last 9 rounds of that first half. And while we have to compare and contrast the sprees of rounds in a row, it's been different. Team Liquid getting through with 1v1s, with 0.1 second left on a defuse. Like, by the skin of their teeth, they've kept this going. But that's okay, because the ball's rolling. 2 rounds in the lead. And a slow creep from NAF is not going to pan out for him. Device gets the opening pick, and he's just going to go charging straight through this. He knows that Stewie's near, but a missed shot gives Jake a chance at bat. 1 kill and substantial damage onto Glaive. The rotation from Elige is the next in line, but it's 4 members of Astralis in the site already.
The nade could stop the plant, though, and it doesn't go deep enough. It falls well short as Glaive switches up the plant spot. So Elige's got to see what he can do at the very least. But remember, the money on NAF is at 0. Stewie at 1,100, they might just want to save this. This is a tough retake, and if they don't get something soon, they might want to choose to back off and preserve what money they have, what weaponry they have. All 3 committed, though, in towards Ruins. A good trade. Advantages towards Astralis all across the board, and that Molotov seals it. No chance for a retake now for Liquid.
Nope, this one's done. This time they've got the Incendiary and the utility to hold off, to stave off any attempt at a retake. And we saw Team Liquid burn it down to the very last bit of wick last time. Not gonna happen. Denying that coffin control, even after Dupree doesn't come up with all the kills in construction. Astralis, they stop the spree of rounds.
No, but that near clutch from Dupree sets up this round right here. That's the story to put this round into context, because guns are going to have to be dropped over from Liquid. They're going to have to buy down into everything they have to make sure everyone is equipped to deal with this. 13-12, and Liquid, they can be broken here. NAF is brought down to an SMG. Elige has an M4, but he's only got the 1 Molotov. They're hurting due to Dupree's near clutch.
They're hurting, but maybe still confident as Elige goes barreling down middle. And off the back of this frag, if he finds players low health, but he's not quite sure what he wants to do. Does he drop into the underpass? Oh, Zipex may have just seen this. Oh, and the metal bar just gets into the midst of the duel. Zipex better for it, 5v4. Already they were playing on the back foot with lesser weapons. Now, it's also with less men.
Well, listen, both teams have the same idea. Previous round, Astralis is putting the round in the hands of their star player and Device, leading the way up to Banana for the entry frag. This time, Liquid putting the round in the hands of Elige, pushing him down mid. It does not pan out for Liquid. NAF and Stewie gonna have to boost up. With that SMG, a huge gap on the smoke on the left side. And Glaive, he's trying to toy with it, jumping over, and he's just so close. NAF is going to punish him. And they hold off for now, but look at the play up lane. It's all on Twist. Nitro struggling to get back. He's the only player, Twist. He gets the first, and he can't transfer over anything else. Device has found both.
Talk about that star player. Device able to rip apart that B site last round. Well, he's what keeps this rolling. Trading out Twist off of the balcony, he could only get 1. He had to try and find 3. And library rotation also cut off immediately, so there's 2 left save. This is it.
This is what's so frustrating to play against Astralis. Liquid had such a massive run, 8 rounds in a row in this half, and you just slip up a couple times, and all of a sudden the game is out of your control. Astralis have a huge lead down the stretch. It's going to be tied up 13-13, but Liquid are going to have to waste rounds trying to get this economy back under control. They don't have the money to fight in this next round.
Listen, let's rewind this. You said it yourself. You said it, that Astralis down the line, we're going to have something in their back pocket, that they'd slow things down, that they'd look for an opening, they'd isolate a different strat that they want to throw, and that to me was Device. Putting Device on the forefront of that B site.
Not only that, but now throwing some fakes into the mix. Now sending 2 players, in a 5-on-4, you send 2 players to attack that B bomb site, while you're sending 3 players up mid and up lane very aggressively. When the pressure is on in round 26, round 27 and beyond, that's when some of the rotations get a bit jumpy. That's when some of the calls get a little bit nervous and you're calling players over a bit earlier because you're very worried about what's coming. And Astralis is going to start taking advantage of that. Timeout called here as things need to be discussed for this defense, but it's not pretty. Naf and Stewie have the 2 rifles. Those are both the B defenders, so likely they'll want to split them up, but Elige, Nitro, and Twist, all beneath 3 grand. They can't buy anything. They're going to have to at least save and burn 1 round and buy up in the next.
Having to forfeit that 14th. What a tough pill to swallow. Tip of the hat to Dupree as well. 29 kills is where he finished on Nuke, currently sitting on 30. Device just behind him, and I feel like once we got to these late rounds, it's really Device who's been pushing the bar. Again, big play towards the B site with the op, and last round, not only that quick kill over towards Library to push Twists alone, but then the trade after Twist gets just 1.
Yeah.
A rapid 180, snaps him off Balk, ties things up at 13 rounds apiece, and like you said, pushes Liquid into such a weird economic spot.
Yeah, I would not be too happy if I'm Team Liquid at this point. Round 27. Little bit of a delay. This timeout, this tactical one, has turned into a technical one. So just a moment, and we'll be right back. Stewie and Naf. This is the question: is how exactly do you do this if you're Team Liquid? Do you want to keep both these weapons towards the B bomb site? Do you buy just enough utility to try and kind of control Banana and get one of those rifles in position, or do you split them up and see what they can do on each side of the map? There's a lot of questions for Team Liquid of how they want to do this exactly, but you know, how fitting would it be? You've mentioned it a number of times. This comeback from Team Liquid starts on a 2nd round close to Fuse after losing the pistol. How fitting would it be if, again, Team Liquid keep themselves alive with a desperate buy scenario?
Justified frustration. That would have been awesome. Contender clip of the year.
Listen, Dupree's had a couple. He's got a couple of those Deagle clips that go down into history.
Telling you, something about that B site Inferno. But now it's Liquid that find themselves sweating bullets. Again, the idea of forfeiting a 14th round, giving Astralis a bit of an edge here. And then the question is, too, like we saw Liquid, you know, as we got into these later portions, as we were getting into the 25th plus rounds, we saw Elige go barreling down middle. The same way Device was playing hyper-aggression towards the B site. And the closer we get to the finish line, the less likely I expect those kinds of Hail Mary plays. So what are Team Liquid left to do? Let Astralis play their own?
Yeah, I mean, you might have to for just this 1 round at the very least. Not even sure if you can afford to upgrade any pistols. If you're Liquid, it's almost like, yeah, that would be great. You'd have some more element of danger if you had Deagle and light armor, Deagle and smoke, whatever it might be. But if you take that risk and you don't come out on top, then you're in even way more trouble. Because remember, with the streak that Liquid had, the loss bonus is tied up 2 rounds apiece. I mean, it's going to be, Astralis is still making money while they grind back into a two round run right here.
Sure.
30 kills on Dupree in just 26 rounds.
His series so far
has been magnificent.
Yep. Finished the first map with a 1.5 rating, and I can't wait to see where he's at after this.
Well, here's the other scary part if your Team Liquid is Device has been relatively quiet, but he's starting to step things up. He's starting to come into this. So even if you go to a 3rd map, that's got to make you feel very happy if you're Astralis. But even on the stretch here on Inferno, just this previous round, these 2 rounds that they've won, you had Device with the AWP getting the opening kill in Banana up towards Car. In the 2nd round, you had him swinging and getting that nice little 1-tap towards Library and the spin for the trade on Balcony. So he's had a lot to say in these past 2 rounds that have finally gotten Astralis back on the board on their T side.
So here we go. We're right back into it. Pedal to the metal. As we said, lackluster buy coming back in here for Liquid. They need to cultivate the cash. So it's left on Stewie and Naf. M4 and Krieg accordingly.
And they do split them. 1 at the B-bomb site. Naf is boosted up on these flower pots with a couple of his teammates to surround. Dupree, Zipmix, and Glaive. Creeping closer to turning this corner, and that's exactly what Naf wants. How effective can he be?
Super effective, hopefully. But he's got to keep his head turned because he is the most important. Needs to be the counter flash. Moves slightly forward. He's able to forego the flashbang. Despite Liquid not knowing it, luckily there's nobody in apps to try and hold this. The one Krieg scene, they could very well double back.
Well, now Stewie is put in play. Naf's done his job. One flashbang on Stewie, that's a huge kill. Device gonna come right through, and again, he's found an opening. Oh, and unfortunately, that gun gets tapped just out of Nitro's reach. But Liquid can go for this. Liquid can go for this retake because Stewie had a kit.
Stewie did have the kit, and Twist takes his position off of the flash. He pushes by. Great damage off the P250, left in the 2v2. And that's it. Weapons on each. No armor for Elige. Naf leads the charge. He's still got one smoke, but the afterplant position includes Zipex towards Banana, and Magis tucked away, and he's not going to show face. Oh, Elige somehow gets the Banana player. Magis with everything to do, takes down the first. Naf caught midair, and Astralis, they'll get their 14th.
That was sketchy, though. Liquid almost pull a rabbit out of the hat there, and now they have to invest. They're out of options. They did everything they could in that previous round, and it almost goes in their favor. M4's picked up. SMG on Stewie. They've got full utility. He's got a kit again.
Oh, that's such a robbery of a frag.
But you have to give it to Device. He's had, what, 2 entries on these rounds? And these 3 rounds that Astralis have run in a row, he's had 2 entries towards Banana, towards that B bomb site, and he had the entry with the 3-man push up lane 2 rounds ago.
One of those rounds that obviously Liquid, it's going to be so tough for them to just accept the fact they left that slip by, especially Stewie, who just gets punched through smoke. But this is what they were playing for regardless. This was the gun round. They hope to turn it back. 14 apiece is still the possibility.
Naf needs to get boosted up. Low HP, SMG. Tough part is he's got a smoke that he's going to want to use at some point. And this is a very dangerous angle for Dupree to have. Any mistake, any missed rotation back around, if Elige gets forced away from his position on Rap side, he can be forced right into the crosshairs of Dupree, who's lying in wait.
So patient. But also so very much alone. Curious to see if Liquid decide to make a proactive play. And there it is, Elige down mid, get your gun out! Oh, because he went back for bomb. Zipex catches the mid push just as the B site crumbles, and now Astralis, they're primed. They are absolutely primed to take 15.
Yeah, Stewie's got to back away right now. I know you feel like you want to be the hero, but he's got to back off. They do not have weaponry in the next round, and the time isn't close enough for you to do something miraculous and stop the plant. And he might have just waited too long. There's no way he gets back now. They're going to fight for everything. Stewie can't find the second. Astralis at 15, 2 chances to close out this opening series.
And for Team Liquid, who wanted to come into this, their potential last chance at taking a series off of Astralis, for taking a series off of the team who denied them their year. We expect maybe the gap to stay the same, push it to a third. No, that gap is widened at this point if Astralis close this one.
Again, just so close, yet so far for the moment. 15-13.
And they could still have one chance at besting this beast, but it means they have to fight all the way from the lower bracket.
Well, first get a chance to bring us to overtime. They have that one opportunity to get us there. Nitro can drop an M4 over to a teammate, but the buy is going to be really rough. Another timeout called for Team Liquid. Everyone, 3 players sitting right at $3 grand. Not enough money for rifles and armor. Not even enough money for all the utility you'd want behind a FAMAS, behind an SMG.
What's the play? What's the buy?
4 rounds in a row for Astralis after losing 8 straight. They figured it out. It took them a long time, but they figured out the weakness.
Yep. As they did on the T side of Nuke. Again, we talked about exploiting that weakness. Took them longer to find it, sure. They let Liquid get their hopes up of a comeback. And the hope's not dead. The dream's still kicking. But they will have to do this with 3 MP9s. At least they have utility.
Keep an eye on Elige as well on the minimap. He's at Banana for the moment. He's got the only kit for the CT side if they need it. Device has been so aggressive on these picks in Banana, on fighting up Banana. Remember, down the stretch of Liquid's T-half, they didn't even want to mess with this part of the map. They had been so decimated, and now it's happening on the other side as well.
Timid is Team Liquid. Just holding on their sights. Naf boosted up. Frag flies past, no problem. But it's not just the frag that follows. Smoke, flashbangs, and what could be a full-blown execution, 2v5 to hold this. Or do they wait?
Well, Astralis is being so quiet, and they're pretty confident in having all 5 players in Banana. I mean, almost calling a bluff and telling Liquid, if you want to try and push towards A, if you want to try and push down mid, if that's actually the call you're going to make, fair play, go for it.
Yeah, they've caught it once before.
Here we go, set piece. Naf and Stewie to defend. Another smoke goes up right in the choke point, but Naf and Stewie are in a position to fight behind it. Naf is burning, spam coming through, and the SMG just can't do the damage. Stewie's caught on the other side of the smoke. He's got to come through with the flashbang from Nitro. He needs some kills. He's going to mow down one, but there's way too many bodies left to fight.
Oh, and Dupree through smoke as well. The spam damage could just well have sealed this match. Not just the second map, not just the place that Liquid tends to push the bar, but now pushed into the depths of the lower bracket could be Team Liquid, hoping to start the tournament with revenge and still hoping to make this retake happen. You talked about the kid on Elysian, it's still very much in the mix, but an MP9 and a FAMAS both cut down. Astralis finished this second map on fire. They gave up a spree of rounds to Liquid, but they finish on 5 of their own.
Well, that series is just such a good testament to this rivalry these two teams have had this whole year. Back and forth, both teams taking massive advantages. But that, 10 or 11 round run for Astralis in the middle of Inferno was so brutal. To finish off the first half, to win Pistol in the second, Liquid responded with an 8-0 run of their own. But Astralis, I mean, the tactical side of this team is just so impressive. They always figure it out. They always find the answer eventually. If they have enough space to find it, they will eventually get there. And that's just a brutal way to lose Inferno if you're Liquid.
It hurts. Like we said, 10 rounds in a row from Astralis, 8 rounds from Liquid, and then 5 back from Astralis to close. Just a spree of victories here across the board. But heartbreak.
The really tough thing is, during that run for Liquid, a lot of those towards the end of the 8 rounds straight were sketchy. They were like 1-on-1s, 2-on-1s. They ran out of money. That was the real brutal thing. Astralis never had to worry about that during their run in the first half, and that's what really kind of sealed the deal. When Liquid just didn't have the cash flow, had to start thinking about saving, had to start thinking about dropping down to SMGs and upgraded pistols. That's tough. But again, I mean, both these maps, as we always see when Team Liquid lose to Astralis in 2019, impressive and just barely missing out on the victory, which is just a brutal way for it to consistently happen.
Sure enough, and again, we talk about the money, right? You said that money issue. Don't forget, we didn't get the clip of the year from Dupree, but still, those 4 frags off of the Deagle is what set up the economy issues.
That set up the whole victory. Yeah, you're exactly right. That Deagle round that he just almost won. A 1 versus 3 with 3 bullets?
Yeah.
He almost wins that, but that is exactly what caused Team Liquid to crumble. That's brutal. He had a phenomenal series, so Dupree, they're going to be buying him a steak dinner tonight. Either way, Astralis is going to be happy with the victory. Liquid's going to have to fight back in the lower bracket, and we're heading to a break.